Are you investing in artificial intelligence? In today's video, we're going to be looking at two really big AI firms. We're going to look at Oracle and we're going to look at NVIDIA, really breaking through, showing you exactly the breakdown of the stock, which one is going to be a good buy, and also doing a side-by-side comparison. So let's go ahead and get into this. Now, when we think of Oracle, shares are up 54% in the last 12 months, doing incredibly well. And then when you look at NVIDIA at that same time, gained about 70%, which is kind of crazy. Now, we have seen the last couple of years, NVIDIA has been absolutely crushing it, but we know they both signed contracts with the government, with the US government in the Stargate program, which is planning to invest roughly $500 billion into the AI infrastructure in the United States. Now, let's say you had to just choose one of these. What would be your solid choice? Looking at Oracle's AI success, their inception, and they came about in 1977. That's even older than I am. And of course, the big AI frenzy drove when ChatGPT was at its peak. But of course, looking at Oracle's revenue, grow 9% year over year, which is a really good growth rate going into 2024. And also sales went up 24% year over year. So doing a lot in sales at $5.9 billion. So where does this explosive growth come from the Oracle side? This is really the business need on AI and the computing infrastructure to train the software to do the AI, which everyone is so in tune with. If you look at AI and the utility right now, it seems to be absolutely everywhere, which is kind of crazy. Now, they have a really strong cloud infrastructure, which is set for training AI. They're very historically making databases where all of the AI information is stored, which of course, the low cloud service, everybody has a use, and really the utility of AI is yet to be seen. Now, thinking of capitalizing on the AI prosperity by expanding the footprint, 150 data centers. And then we know on the flip side of this, which we'll get to in just a minute, where and who is supporting all of those data centers. But when we look at a great number of facilities that Oracle does own, they can really surpass the income and increase it year over year for the foreseeable future. Now, on the flip side of this, we do have NVIDIA. Now, when you think of one of the biggest beneficiaries that we've seen with the AI boom, reporting record quarterly profits for the last 7 quarters. Think about that, guys. We are looking at almost 2 years of record profits, quarter after quarter after quarter, looking at a 78% increase from the prior year, which again is kind of crazy, almost $40 billion. Now, the big reason for this, again, is the production of data centers. The company provides all of the components that you need to run the AI that essentially Oracle is using, and also the training that is required, the AI training, which is why NVIDIA counts Oracle among the customers. So if you think of NVIDIA, the chip processor, they're building the chips that Oracle is using. Now, because its products are critical for the AI development, NVIDIA's sales grew to a whopping 93%, $35.6 billion, which is up 82% year over year, which is kind of crazy. So let's kind of break these down side by side. We will in a minute, but I want to look at the earnings that we are seeing from these companies because it is very interesting. So let's go ahead and we're going to break this out a little bit. And first, we're going to start with Oracle. Now, we can see right here, we have a stock price of $161. So pretty good. And then going down here, looking what they're thinking, revenue year over year is behind what was indicated. This is the AI insight on how the companies are doing, underperforming among the peers, underperforming and covering the short term obligation versus the peers. So again, a little of the AI insight. And it's funny because when you think of the AI, it is coming from NVIDIA. It is also coming from Oracle. Analysts are forecasting more than a 20% upside for 12 months. So again, if you're thinking of investing in Oracle, which it might not be the best bet, you could expect or see a 20% upside. And then the price to sales ratio below the industry average. So not seeing that revenue 5-year growth is below the peers. So overall, when you look at the AI insight, not a huge really runway for Oracle. But then we actually hop over and we go to the other side of it, which is looking at NVIDIA. Now, remember, there's one that is producing the AI, there is one that is supporting all the chips with AI in general. So looking at this one, and again, kind of breaking down NVIDIA for where we're at, you can see 117. So very similar, a little bit cheaper if you're looking to get into the market. You can see the quick compares right here and look at the AI insight. And again, I don't know if this is because AI is running a lot of these models, but analysts forecast, again, more than that 20% upside. Net profit margin is growing above peers year over year. Revenue is up above peers year over year is forecasted above the industry average. Year over year grew better than the peers, and revenue annually grew better than the peers. This is the reason why a lot of people are saying when it comes to NVIDIA, it is a very strong buy. Even though we have seen a pullback, it could possibly be a really good buying opportunity for this company. Now, looking over here, even at the analysts, they did beat the earnings 4.71%. Surprise, they did beat the earnings. On financials, you can see the yields, but overall, they are saying as of right now, analysts are saying it is a strong buy when it comes to NVIDIA. And when you start looking at the stock in general, it seems like this might be the choice. But let's take a look at them side by side. What exactly does it look like when we start putting them kind of toe to toe? And where have we seen this really coming out? Where are the companies now looking? And again, thinking of a month, you can see down 1% for NVIDIA, down at 3.77 when it comes to Oracle. So Oracle seeing a little bit of a bigger pullback. Now, 6 months, you can see Oracle is actually significantly ahead, 15%. NVIDIA coming in at 10 on our 6 months. Now, year to date, only going back a couple months, NVIDIA has slid 12.65%. So a pretty decent pullback when we see NVIDIA. Thinking of the last 12 months, they are almost even. 43% growth out of Oracle, 37% out of NVIDIA. But when we get into the 5-year, this is where it kind of gets crazy. Boom. You can see Oracle is up 244% in 5 years. So you have over doubled your money if you're investing in Oracle. And in the last 5 years, if you're putting your money into NVIDIA, we are up 1,555%. Crazy, incredible, thinking of, again, the last 5 years. So literally, if you came in here at the very early 5 years, you're talking March of 2020, that was literally almost spot on to when COVID started. And then we've seen, of course, the rise in the need for all of these computer chips. NVIDIA just went wild. So even when you look at, in comparison, you're talking what, about 6x the size or the total return that we're seeing for a company. Now, looking again, going back 10 years, it gets, again, kind of crazy, 21,000. Here we're at 332. So think about this for a moment. When you look at Oracle, 5 years, you're at 244. Going back 10 years, you're at 332. So even then, not a huge growth factor going back a decade, where you're seeing a 21,000% increase of NVIDIA. So again, thinking long-term of what this kind of looks like. And then, of course, breaking it down here, year to date, you can see NVIDIA on a really big pullback. That is the reason why it's rated as it sits today as a strong buy, because when the tech sector and when this stock specifically, a lot of people selling it, a lot of people taking profits. But then when we look at the 1 year, again, Oracle beating it out, NVIDIA goes to 75%, 10 years, 71%, maximum 35% for NVIDIA, which again is kind of interesting to see exactly how this stock has been performing. So overall, out of these two, what would be, and honestly, what would be the best one to pick out of these two? Now, one of the things that we always keep an eye out is the forward price to earnings ratio, or the PE ratio, and what does it look like? So looking at the price to earning ratio, it is telling investors what they're willing to pay for the dollar's worth based on earnings and based on the estimates. So when we think of NVIDIA, the P/E ratio for NVIDIA was right around 48, which is incredibly high. Now, tech companies' valuations are still usually quite a bit higher, but as it sits of yesterday, their P/E ratio is at 27.2. So thinking again, a really big pullback, that 12% that we've seen pullback from NVIDIA, put it really in that heavily buy range because of the P/E ratio. When we, in comparison to Oracle, Oracle is at 26.77. So they are literally very, very close in the P/E ratio. The forward P/E ratio, again, was much higher in NVIDIA, up to the plunge that happened the end of January, going into February, which of course coincides with the decline occurring after Chinese AI startup DeepSync shocked Wall Street on January 27. That is when NVIDIA's price started to fall, and we've seen a very, very big pullback. So should you invest in NVIDIA or should you invest in Oracle? My money and my all-in would be on NVIDIA, looking at the chip maker. And again, Oracle, as much as I do like the AI technology that they're coming out with, the data centers, everything like that, are very easy to duplicate when you start thinking of a company like NVIDIA that is producing, the Blackwell chips, that is producing a lot of the backbone of artificial intelligence. Is it going to be the future? And even if by chance Oracle doesn't become the future, if it's another company company that really outshines for artificial intelligence. NVIDIA is still going to be the backbone, including when it comes to that government contract. It seems like it's going to be doing a lot more of that heavy lifting when it comes to data centers, when it comes to data management, because they are providing those processors. So, all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about these two stocks. And as always, thank you guys for watching.